Hi, it's Jane. As you can tell, my nose is stopped up. I've been having these sneezing fits today. I don't know where that's coming from, but it's making me nuts. Thought we'd chat for a little bit, see what's going on in the world today, just catch up. I'm telling you, sometimes I don't know what's going on with this world, what people are thinking. You know, the nude protests that keep going on. Now, it was actually, the bike ride was a nude bike ride, but they did join Antifa in their protest. And of course, if you're laying in the streets, on the highways, sorry, that is not a protest. I cannot believe that any place would give a permit for you to lay on the highway and block traffic. That's just crazy. And then I've seen where a woman, she owns a bar in Portland, and she came and gave a testimony to the Portland downtown, whatever, city meeting. And basically she said that the city of Portland, with the policies that they currently have in place from Democrats, are killing the city. A lot of the business are gone. They've boarded up. They've left because it's dangerous. She said the bar that she has, they quite frequently, police do not answer calls, or there's not enough police. They're not arresting anybody. Criminals just have free reign there. Judges letting them out left and right when they do catch them. She said that there was one evening that two women got into an altercation, and they broke beer bottles and began stabbing each other and other women, other people, well, not just women, but other people in the bar. They waited, called the police, and took the police close to an hour and a half to show up. Inside that brawl was going on. They've been held up numerous times. They have had their employees threatened. Employees are scared at work. They've had some of these people, the way she puts it was hoodlums, come back repeatedly, stand outside with guns threatening anyone going in and out if they get, thrown out because of bad behavior or whatever. But she said it's the policies that these people have put into place where they don't prosecute these people. They just let them do whatever. And of course, Portland was the site of, what was it, jazz? During Trump's first term. And I find it interesting that it's always these rather radical left that do something like this. And they did it because, quite honestly, Trump is a strong leader. They don't like it. He calls it quite blankly what it is. We need to fix those things. So, there's that. I guess today Schumer has told Johnson that they would like to come back and settle things. They're wanting a backdoor deal. And part of that has to do with the fact that evidence has come out that Obamacare was quite a big slush fund. There were quite a few clinics that were determined that had been started out for addicts to help them recover. There were a couple arrests this week of it. But through that investigation, whatnot, and these clinics, they were being funded billions of dollars throughout these years for these clinics. They did not have a single patient. So it's being found out that a lot of that has been happening through a lot of this, that through Obamacare, that those kind of things were being funded. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, about whether Schumer is really wanting to come back to the table, make a deal. Who knows? Maybe he's seeing the writing on the wall that it's not going well for him at all. I think he's beginning to see a lot of people are actually blaming Democrats for this, as they should. They did it during Trump's first term as well. Sometimes you have to put your big boy panties on and stop throwing hissy fits and just take care of business. Do what's right for the people. Not what's right for your pocketbook, your wallet, whatever. So anyway, that's kind of what's going on there. What else did I see? Oh, the shooting of Elijah Wilkes. That was kind of interesting. You had the media setting this up as if the police officer just shot him willy-nilly. With headlines like off-duty cop guns down black man. There is actual body cam footage that shows exactly what happened. What happened is Wilkes actually hit this off-duty officer, gave him a bump on his bumper. He pulled over, Wilkes pulled over after him. Gentleman got out of the car, came up, talked to him, tried to get his information, check on any damages, whatever. And Elijah pulled out a gun and slapped the officer with the gun, pistol whipped him. And then he stood back and he aimed the gun at the officer. Of course, at the time he was off duty. He still didn't have his gun out at that point. But he did pull a weapon out and shots fired out between the two of them, one of them, whatever. And Wilkes was killed. Well, the family came in today in a press conference, stated it was a justified killing, that Elijah was in the wrong, that Elijah caused his own death. Which that's an interesting turn of events. I'm sure Sharpton and Crump were pretty upset about that. Neither one of them was going to make $1 off that. So, anyway. But I find that kind of refreshing because they took the time to review the dash cam video, as well as Wilkes was filming it as well, and to see what had actually happened and to see that, it was Wilkes' fault. He's the one that caused his own death by his behavior, and and it just goes to show, didn't have to be an off-duty police officer. Could have been somebody who had concealed carry for whatever reason. My nephew dated a woman that they have a jewelry store. Many times they're vendors at different events. Go to different jewelry shows around the country. So they are carrying literally a lot of money, a lot of goods worth a lot of money. So most everyone that works and does these shows, they're all concealed carry. So you never know who has concealed carry when you step out of that vehicle and you start acting like an idiot or a jerk. So just kind of sad that he lost his life over that kind of behavior. I'd watched a video this morning about I think it was a group of 8 or 9 black boys. They looked like they were like middle-aged, but they were beating up and harassing 2 white girls, trying to get them to say a certain phrase, which the girls didn't want to, but they were bullying them, beating them up, and the entire time these kids were filming themselves doing it. And I kind of blame the parents because, quite honestly, I think if you've taught your child better and not to behave in that manner, they're not going to. Now, I don't know if those families treat other people that way or not. I don't know. I have seen some pretty bad behavior from folks of all colors. Especially when Thomas and I were living in North Carolina with his mother, and any time we went back to visit. There's a certain attitude with some of the black folks there that you can kind of sense the evil that comes off of them. So you just walk away when they start in with their nonsense. And I do mean nonsense. Thomas's mother and I had stopped in at the store, I think it was Dollar General, to get a couple of cards for some birthday that were coming up for the weekend. And so we got in line. And then we had this black woman push her way in front of us, making all kinds of derogatory accusations. And Thomas's mother just kind of like, oh, Lord. I kind of rolled my eyes, and that got her going. Not my mother-in-law, the other woman. And I just kind of looked at her and I said, look, you bullied your way in front of us. Go ahead and check out. We can wait. We don't have anywhere to go. I said, you must be an important person to have to cut in line in front of folks. Kind of rude, but we're okay. We can wait a few more minutes. That ticked her off. Of course, cashier behind the deal was laughing. And the woman just ranted and raved as she's purchasing whatever it was she was purchasing. When we got up there, the woman at the cash register said to me, I ain't never seen anybody take her out like that. The way that you did with her and the way that she carried on. She said, I applaud you. You were an awful brave woman for doing that. I looked there and I said, well, there's no reason for that kind of nonsense, to be honest. I said, yeah, and I probably should have kept my mouth shut. I said, but sometimes when people keep carrying on and acting like fools, you just got to say something. She said, I want to thank you. That's the best laugh I've ever had. So, but what I did there was probably just irritate her a little more and get her going. And I probably shouldn't have said it. But at the point, I was like, not sitting back on this one. I'll blame it on it was my period. I don't know if I was still having one then or not. It was quite a long time ago, but anyway, that's what I'm blaming it on. The other thing I saw that was in the news, the left is making a big stink about this arrest that was a 15-year-old boy. They are immigrants here. They had started through their paperwork, or a boy or girl. I can't remember if it was a girl or a boy. But anyway, the police had come and arrested her. And the left is putting it out there that it was ICE that came and detained her. Threw her to the ground roughly and detained her. Took her away. Well, that wasn't the case at all. This young lady had been, or this first male, let's just say this person, had been threatening people with a gun and a knife at school, and a couple of other things, and had apparently gotten into quite a few fights and injured someone, and the person was pressing charges. And that's why that person got arrested. Wasn't because that they were here as immigrants and, trying to make their way, because they had all the paperwork and everything filled out, documented, so. But it was fact that this person was breaking the law. And they got caught. So, happens. I have purchased some pesticide to kill some of those weeds out there. Most especially got it for because where the walk is, the weeds and things are coming up in between the blocks. So I was out there spraying it today and was laughing because it says it works within an hour. I went out there 3 hours later, and those weeds are still standing up proud and tall. They don't look like they've been touched, so maybe I have to do it 2 or 3 times, I don't know. But they'll get another spray tomorrow. It doesn't rain. And see what works, if it works or not. That's kind of it in a nutshell about what's going on that I've seen today. The only other thing that I've seen is there is a weathercaster in, I think, the Denver area. She has been stalked by a person for quite a few years. And there was a little bit of a break where, they stopped stalking her. And she had a permanent protection order against him. And kept constantly showing up, doing things, harassing her, emailing her, calling, that kind of thing. Showing up, whatever. So then he showed up, I think, at her house. Maybe it was an event. And was too close to her, so they did pick him up. Instead of doing anything to him, they let him go. And they were trying to say that it's because it's common practice, common law practice. There's been a space of time since the last time he was repeatedly harassing you or whatever. And she's, she made the point of going through and looking at the law, and there's nothing in the law that says that he can't be prosecuted because of a lack, of that lack of period of time of harassing her, showing up where she's working or whatever she's doing. And they said, oh, well, that's just, based on perspective or decision, case by case. And, I just keep thinking of, and I cannot remember her last name. I think it was Wadsworth. Rebecca? The actress that was killed by her stalker. Continually stalked her for years and years and years. And then one day, came up to her house and shot her dead. So, and it's not any wonder why women don't feel protected by police officers. Too many times they overlook what's happening and think, well, you're just overreacting. You're in a fit of histrionics, whatever. And they just don't take things seriously. And it just makes you wonder if they were to actually enforce the laws that are on the books, would we see a lot of continued things like that happening? More and more people being stalked and that kind of thing? Would we see that? Or would that kind of come to an end or slow down in the process? I don't know. What do you think? I've got quite a bit of items cut for the fair, the little craft fair that I'm doing, that I need to be sewing up this week, so hopefully I can get to that. So we'll see. I have a question for you, if those of you that have pets. Lately, whenever I go to open the bag of cat food to put it into the containers that I keep it stored in, my cats kind of go nuts. Like they're circling me. They're circling the kitchen, the area, almost frantic. Do your pets do that? I do not recall my cats, any of the cats that I've had in the past, doing that. So I don't know if it's just these two or what. And I will tell you today, these two turn their noses up at wet cat food. They literally turn their noses up. Like, nope, not have anything to do with it. Most bizarre thing I've ever seen. And my cats are not, I would like to say that I could open up a can, and that between the two of them, they would eat the full can. No. They eat maybe, between the two of them, they'll eat about a third of a can. So a can will last like 3 different times. Now, I always say they only get wet cat food once a week. Well, they actually get it once. I open it once and they get it over the next 2 to 3 days. That day and then the next 2 days. Because they just will not eat a whole lot. Which I find interesting, because dry cat food they'll go through like it's nothing. So, I'm just kind of curious if any of you, with those of you that have pets, if they get that kind of frantic, like they think they're gonna, I don't know, be able to eat out of the container or not. Oh my. Well, guys, I think I'm gonna let you go. This is gonna be a short one. I can feel my voice giving out. And frankly, my nose is driving me nuts. It's dripping. So, I'm just going to let you go. Talk to you again tomorrow. Everybody have a great day. Hopefully this, whatever I'm catching or allergies or whatever, maybe it'll all go away. Hoping anyway. See you guys soon. Bye.